Hi friends, today I've got all the stats on the most used legends and most effective weapons by the pros during the ALGS Championships finals over this past weekend. Often what the pros use influence the main game meta, so this video might actually help you adjust your choices to suit the current meta, and that might even help you win more games, especially in ranked. So keep a lookout, there's definitely some interesting things to hear with the stats in this video. Before I start though, a big congratulations to TSM for winning the ALGS Championships and that massive $600,000 for first place. So let's jump into the legend pick rates first, and here are the stats that you can see of the most used legends through the ALGS Championships. And by the way, most of the stats in this video are courtesy of ApexLegendsStatus.com, so thanks to them for the great work they do. Now in these stats you can see Catalyst is the most picked. That pick rate's pretty crazy and it's out there right at the top, and it means almost every team does have a Catalyst. The ability to build your own cover I guess is just so strong, and that's kind of what the pros are proving here. The second most picked is surprisingly Bangalore with 75% pick rate. She's slowly been up in the meta the last few seasons, and it seems now in this season Bangalore meta's fully back. In third you can see there, perhaps not so surprising, is Horizon. Despite her nerfs over previous seasons, I think it's just that her verticality brings so much value to the team, and that's why she's back in the meta. So those are your top 3 most used by the pros through the ALGS Championships. I'll also show you a view with the most picked combos in just a minute, but before I do that, you can see the rest of the top 10, and I thought I'd just touch on it because Bloodhound is probably the most surprising one here to make a comeback. And I think that's mainly because Seer's dropped out of the top 10. If you check any of my videos previously, you would have seen how highly Seer was used, not just by the pros, but in fact by normal players as well. However, you can clearly see as Seer, after all those nerfs, has dropped out of that meta, and he's not even in the top 10 anymore. You'll also notice Valkyrie's dropped a bit. She was right up there in previous ALGS tournaments, and the evac tower being introduced has kind of just made her pick rate go down a bit. So those are your top 10 legend pick rates. Let me also show you how that translates to combos. Of course, you can see here Bangalore, Horizon and Catalyst is the most picked combo by a pretty significant amount. All of the other top 5s have pretty much one of a Bangalore, Horizon or Catalyst in the team as well. So if you're looking for a good legend to main this season and you want to take some inspiration from the pros, then this should give you a good idea of who you can pick. Let's move on to the weapon meta now, and I thought we could use the stats for which weapons have the most kills to put these in order, but you can actually see a range of stats here, including the cumulative usage time. And if we put it in order of kills to start with, you can see the R99 is top of the list by a fairly significant lead, with the car in second place. And I found this one interesting because you can kind of see SMGs here not only in first and second, we also see the alternator and the Volt there as well in the top 10. And the reason it's surprising to me is because the SMGs were nerfed slightly this season in terms of the strafe speed being slower while you're ADSing, but that hasn't really put the pros off using these weapons. And if you look at the kills, the SMG kills are much higher than any other weapon category from the pros. If you also look in the far right column, you can see the cumulative playtime across the SMGs is pretty high as well, although not quite as high as the 3rd and 4th place weapons. You can see there 3rd place is the 30-30 repeater and 4th place you've got the Hemlock. I think the reason particularly the 30-30 repeater has such a long usage time is because I guess it feels like one of those weapons you kind of pick out and you've got out for a long time because you're probably going to be ADSing a lot more with the 30-30 than you are with the R99 or the car, or I guess any other SMG, which are generally more up close meta type weapons, and therefore you kind of only have them in those up close battles. One other thing I found interesting from these weapon stats is that you can see the Arc Star and the Frags are up there in and about the top 10. I thought I'd touch on this because I do see pros using these a lot more than casual players, and if you've been watching the ALGS Championships, you'll see pretty much every team is carrying at least 1 or 2 Arc Stars or Frags, and they make good use of it, and you can see that from the number of kills they're getting with these. But for some reason I feel like casuals almost don't want to use up a slot in their inventory to carry nades, maybe because it takes a bit of coordination with your teammates, or maybe because you just need to get good at using them effectively. But either way, I think the pros here prove that actually nades and throwables are really useful in Apex Legends, and maybe it's something you want to get some practice with, because clearly it's contributing a lot of kills in this championships. Anyway, that's an overview of the stats from the ALGS Championships. I just wanted to make this video to kind of celebrate a little bit the amazing games we've had in the championships this year, and hopefully for you watching this video, it's given you a bit of a better idea of how you can tinker your weapon and legend usage this season to fall in line with what the pros are using, and maybe, just maybe, it'll help you do better. For now though, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.